Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming to you with a Q&A video. I had posted recently on Instagram that I was going to be doing this, and I got some questions there, as well as the questions that I have been receiving here on my videos. So I've put everything together and organized kind of the questions by category so that hopefully I am covering everything. But in case I miss any of your questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I'm always happy to answer there. So I'm going to get started with the first sort of topic, I guess, or category that I got a lot of questions about, which is an update on my 2024 goals. And for anyone who watched my 2024 goal setting video, you know that basically my goal this year was one big goal, which was mindfulness across kind of everything in my life. I've recently implemented yoga into my already established morning routine, which I am really enjoying. I do about 20 to 30 minutes of yoga on an app and on just here on YouTube. I do yoga with Adriene videos, and I do that probably Monday through Friday, almost every Monday through Friday. And I've been doing it since January, first thing in the morning after I write in my mindfulness journal. So I'm continuing to do that. And I've continued to do kind of my evening routine and morning routine where I sit down with my journal, my gratitude journal. I practice a little gratitude. I've started doing more meditation, although I'm not very good at it. I really only do like a minute or two at a time, but trying to meditate, trying to get more centered, and trying to just be more present overall in my own life, which I think I'm doing a pretty good job so far. So things are going well there. Also under my goals, I talked a little bit about health and wellness, both my physical health and my mental health. I've been doing a lot to kind of take care of myself this year. I've had a lot of appointments. You may remember I had a little bit of a health scare earlier in the year, but that is pretty much resolved itself. I do have some issues to deal with like ovarian cysts and things like that, where I am being checked on a more frequent basis. But other than that, all is going well. I am still in the state of perimenopause, which seems like it's just going on and on forever. I am 53 and cannot wait for this to end. Yeah, I'm turning 53. I'm like aging myself. I'm turning 53 this year. My consumption, that is the one area I have been struggling. I have been entirely spending way too much money this year, and I'll get into a little bit of why I think that is. But let's just say that I am going to be declaring July as a no buy July month, where I only purchase things that are necessities, because I really need to kind of reset my spending habits and get back into like a normal spending routine. The next category that I had a lot of feedback on, I had reached out and talked about any content ideas or requests or things that people have left for me here on this channel that they've wanted to see. People have asked me to do a get ready with me, and I definitely plan on doing one. The issue for me has been that my master bathroom, where I plan to film at my little kind of vanity area where all my makeup and everything is a nightmare for filming. I have just one huge mirror on the wall in front of me, and then a big glass shower behind me, and it's just a whole a whole lot of lighting issues, not to mention the lighting in that room isn't the best. So trying to figure out a way to do that. Definitely have it on my list of things that I will try to get done this year. I have been asked to do some everyday favorites / favorite things, and I actually have a video I've been planning to do about things that I cannot live without, that are in mostly things around my home. So I will definitely be doing that, and I will include some everyday favorites. I love doing favorites videos, and I tend to do more like fashion and beauty, but I will get into some of the things around my home. I've also been asked to do a home update. Unfortunately, since we moved in here 2 years ago, we spent a lot of time decorating and doing a lot of things, and then I had done a home tour video, and since that time we really haven't done much of anything. It's like we got 80% done, and we still have a list of things we want to do, things, artwork we need to buy, and all kinds of things, and we just haven't got there. But when I do, I will definitely do a home update video. I got a request for caring for my clothes and bags, and I will definitely do that video. summer favorites, summer fashion, summer fragrance. I actually just did some summer essentials and summer fragrance, so those videos should be up before this one, so hopefully that covers that. Travel essentials, and specifically I've been asked to do another Louis Vuitton travel essentials video, which I would love to do. And as it turns out, my Louis Vuitton collection and all of my handbags in general, or my luxury handbags, I have really shrunk down my collection over the last few years, which I'm very happy about, because I really now am only keeping and using the things that I love and use, and not, just collecting for the sake of collecting. Definitely need to apply that mindset in other areas of my life. But yes, travel essentials, Louis Vuitton. My collection now is mostly travel, so I would love to do a travel essentials or Louis Vuitton travel essentials video. We'll do that soon. And then I've just been asked to do some longer videos, and it's funny that I get a lot of requests from people to do longer format videos, where I tend to be someone who enjoys watching videos that are no more than like 15 minutes, just because I don't have a lot of time, and I'm usually not sitting in one place for a long period of time watching YouTube. But when I do, I tend to kind of skip through things if they are overly long, but I will definitely try to do some more longer format videos. Jumping into the next topic, which is fashion, I was asked to talk a little bit about adding color to my wardrobe since moving to Florida. And yes, I have added a little bit, or you can't really see too much of it looking at my closet, but I have added a little bit of blues, and I think that is just a result of living so close to the beach. We definitely live in a more coastal area where it feels like I am living like the tropical dream, I guess. But at the same time, I love my neutrals, so light blue in particular has been a color that I've incorporated here and there throughout my wardrobe, and it just works with everything I currently have in my wardrobe. I used to have a lot of more, I would call them fall colors, things like burgundies, things like deep forest green. I loved those colors in my wardrobe, but I've slowly kind of weeded those out because they don't really fit my lifestyle here in Florida, and I was not reaching for any of them. So yeah, light blue is definitely one. Some shades of green, especially like olivey greens, I tend to love, even though they are not the best colors on me. I will typically wear them with a black or with a white underneath or on top, so that the color can work for me. But yeah, that is something that I have incorporated since moving to the beach, not only into my wardrobe but into my home. I think my home is very much a lot of like sandy colors and beachy, earthy tones, and I really enjoy that. I like to dress the way I like to decorate, which is very much neutral, and that has not changed, but when I do a home update video, I will talk a little bit more about that as well. And then the other topic I was asked about that I actually brought up in a video was finding my Florida style, which is something I've mentioned a few times now, and it is an ongoing subject for me, or an ongoing topic or challenge to kind of figure out who I am living in Florida. I feel like this move, for a lot of reasons, which I'll get into in another topic here, but for a lot of reasons, this move has really thrown me for a loop in terms of who I am and keeping my identity while changing a lot of things in my life. So definitely we'll talk a little bit more about that. Fragrances, next topic. I was asked how many fragrances I have in my collection, and I am happy to say now that I started 2023 with an all-time high of 170 something fragrances. I went a little cuckoo bird during the pandemic and started collecting fragrances. And I got to a point where I wasn't using, and I was forgetting about a lot of the fragrances I had. And since I'm not really a fragrance content creator or anything like that, there's no reason for me to have like over 100 fragrances. So I decided in 2023 that I was going to cut my collection down to about 100 fragrances, and I have recently gotten there finally. So So yeah, I would love to even whittle down my collection further, but that is where I'm at, about 100 fragrances. And then the other fragrance question I got was what is my favorite fragrance? And a lot of you know the answer to this. It is Chanel number 5 Eau Premier. I wore that fragrance for so many years exclusively, and it was my signature scent. I got married back in 1998 wearing Chanel number 5, and I've just been a fan of all the flankers and Chanel number 5 throughout my life, and there's been a lot of kind of influential people in my life who have worn that fragrance. So yeah, Chanel number 5 is probably my favorite fragrance, and the Eau Premier is my favorite version of Chanel number 5. The last topic, which is kind of a big one, so I left it to the end because I got a few questions about this, and I've tried to compile them in a way that I can kind of talk through my answers, is all about my move to Florida. And it's now been 3 years since we moved from North Carolina, where we lived for 18 years in our home. And people have asked me, do I miss North Carolina? Any regrets from moving? Things I would do differently, thoughts about moving after being established in one place for so long with work and friends and all of that kind of stuff, how my perspective has changed, tips for moving out of state, style changes. So yeah, I'm going to get into all of it. So I lived, as I said, in North Carolina for 18 years in the same home that we bought brand new. And we were so excited when we moved there. We were in our 30s. Life seemed like it was just like truly, really beginning for us, my husband and I. We are both from the Northeast and had moved around a little bit before moving there. And prior to that, in my younger sort of life, I grew up in Massachusetts, and I moved around a little bit as well within the same town, but moved around, went to school out of state. And my home in North Carolina, what I'm getting at, is the place that I lived the longest out of anywhere in my life. So it was a really difficult decision to move from there. However, we did move during the pandemic, during a time when my husband and I were both working from home, during a time when I did not know at the time that I remember taking my laptop home from work the day there was like a hazmat situation in the building with someone with COVID. So we got sent home, and I didn't know that I would never again work in an office environment. And some of that is due to the pandemic, and some of that is due to the move here to Florida, the location where we live, and just the availability of work here. But in any case, I've continued consulting. There were some things that made the transition very easy for me coming here, but my husband got this great job opportunity. It moved us to the Palm Beach area, which I actually really like in terms of Florida. I wouldn't say that I am a Florida person in terms of like, I don't love a lot of heat. I like the beach, but I'm not someone who wants to go out and lie in the sun. And there are some things about this lifestyle that are totally not me at all, but I do enjoy a lot of things that I didn't know that I was going to enjoy, and I'll get into that a little bit as well. Any regrets? I do not have any regrets because I think the move, the greatest thing about the move was that, again, it was during the pandemic. We were home, my husband and I, a lot together, alone, and spending a lot of time, which was kind of great preparation, I think, for retirement, seeing how we do, like on top of each other, working and, you know, living our lives. And it was a really actually good time for us. I think a lot of people struggled during the pandemic, people with kids, people with all kinds of other commitments, aging parents, all kinds of things that required them to be in different places, and all kinds of rules and isolations and things going on where it just made life very difficult during that time. So it was a challenging, kind of depressing time. And during that time, having an opportunity to make a change really kind of snapped us out of a really kind of bad place. And it's not that we didn't love our life there, we didn't love our friends. We do miss North Carolina, we miss our friends dearly. And I really feel like it's been hard to adjust to the lifestyle here. But I think it's been worth it because I really do feel like change in any way, shape, or form in life, getting out of your comfort zone and trying something new is something that, for me anyway, I do thrive on, and my husband is thriving as well. And we both kind of feel like, this has really opened our eyes and changed our whole perspective about what retirement looks like and how we want to live the next kind of 20 years or however long of our life, because I think we kind of thought about going to Florida thinking we were going to, love it here. We're closer to some friends and some family that live down here, but, and that we were going to retire and buy a home and just eventually, retire early, I should say. And we got here and it's like, number one, we are so not ready to retire. Number two, we live in an environment where there are a lot of retired people, and there are a lot of people here who are only kind of part-time here. They have homes in other places, mostly in the Northeast. So the lifestyle here is very different, and it is not like we are a little bit like square pegs in the area where we live. So it has been hard to make friends. A lot of it has been a struggle. Like I've mentioned, I've struggled to find my identity after, leaving a certain job in a corporate world where I went to work every day in a blazer or, in professional workwear. And now, my closet used to be like 70% workwear and 30% casual. And now it's like completely flipped. I have this one little section here that is my, tops and things that I throw on during conference calls and when I need to look a little more professional. And otherwise, it's just really casual. My lifestyle is super casual. So everything is not what we thought is really what I'm getting to. I feel like the move has been a really good thing to snap us out of a very sort of stagnant life that we had been living for a very long time. And it's not that we weren't happy with that life, but I love new opportunity. I love trying new things. I love exploring new places. And this has given me and my husband a whole different perspective about what, like I said, retirement looks like, because I think we had it sort of in our heads that we were going to buy this beautiful home, potentially in Florida, and, sink all our money into that with enough just to travel from time to time. And now we bought a townhome, we downsized our life, and we don't really have any other financial commitments. So, we're almost mortgage free, and I just feel like our life is in a way just beginning again. We are, in another time of our life where we want to kind of try something new. And I think, we're open to living in a lot of different places and, spending a month here or spending a month there when we do retire and our home is paid for and we don't have a lot of other, like I said, financial things to worry about. So yeah, I'm thinking a lot differently and I don't regret anything. However, I do very much miss our friends. I very much miss North Carolina. I do really miss the politeness and just the niceness of like humanity of living in the South. I definitely think that was such a thing. And it's in the little things. It's in the like driving down the street and waving at your neighbors, which is something that struck us as so odd when we first moved to North Carolina. And then it just became like normal to us. And then we would go grocery shopping and people at the grocery store would talk to us, or people just anywhere would talk to anyone. I found it odd in the beginning, and now I live back in a place where people are very not trusting of other people and are very, open about who they are, but at the same time, almost aggressive and in your face about who they are. The good news is we have made some friends and I have really great neighbors, and we ended up with 1 week of time to find a home. We bought a townhome in a community that we were both, for whatever reason, like pulled to. It reminded us of a Florida version of the community we moved from in North Carolina in a lot of ways. And I love my neighbors. I have met so many great people, and you always do find your tribe wherever you land. Thoughts about moving after being established in in a place for a long time. Like I said, it's been very hard on us to not only make friends, but to feel like we kind of belong here. This feeling of belonging is kind of missing, and I think it's even more so because I'm not working in an office environment. In our North Carolina home, I would say 90% of our friends were people that either of us worked with or people in our neighborhood. And now we are friends with some people my husband works with and our neighborhood, but the missing link seems to be my not, working in an office and not really having that same social connection with people that I used to have. And I'm not someone, I tend to be a bit of an introvert in like public situations or in like social situations. So if we go to, meet people at a large event or something like that, I am like the last person who is going to end up making lots of friends or anything like that, because I'm a bit of a wallflower and I tend to enjoy smaller groups of people, more intimate conversations, and that's just who I am. And I know that about myself. It's taken me a long time to realize that, but that's who I am. So that has really it's just been a hard transition. I guess the last thing I'm going to say is talk about that I sort of added to this list that goes along with this topic is I do at some point want to do a video about kind of letting go of my past self and being more present on like living in the now, because I went through the pandemic getting very focused on a lot of things in my past and just past life experiences that really brought me down. And then I went through a period of, moving and being excited and looking towards the future. But I've sort of missed out on the present and taking advantage of the life we have exactly right now. I'm always, my mind is, and this is probably having anxiety, I can't even get the words out, but my mind tends to race a lot and I'm always thinking about the next thing and the next thing, and it's really hard for me. This is why I decided to focus on mindfulness as my goal this year. It's hard for me to be present, and that is definitely something I am trying to do more of. And I think all of my mindfulness practices are helping me at least focus and have awareness and see the problem. But actually, trying to make a difference in my own life and trying to kind of let go of things. I have a whole closet that I probably will talk about in a video soon in my office that is sort of like, I call it like my closet of life past, because it is just half of the closet is things I used to wear in an office environment. The other half, or the things that I kept, I should say. I didn't move here with everything, but I got rid of a lot. I decluttered actually quite a bit before we moved, but I still have half a closet's worth of professional and or I would say occasion wear that I don't really wear. And then I have the other half of the closet with just like cold weather things like coats and jackets and sweaters, really heavy duty sweaters for when we do travel up north, which is hardly ever. And then the top of the closet just has all my boots. The bottom of the closet has a lot of handbags that I talked about in my handbag collection video. I really need to get a grip on letting go of some of that stuff. And that is another focus area that I'm finding it really hard. I think the subject of letting go is going to be a big one for me to tackle. Letting go not only of my style that I used to have, the person I sort of used to be in terms of my professional life and my personal life, my social life, and in terms of like the lifestyle that my husband and I used to lead, and in terms of what I thought the future was going to look like for us. I think that all of that has really changed, and yeah, I definitely think letting go is going to be a topic for another day where I can continue doing videos if that's something you are interested in hearing more about. So I can see on my phone that I have been talking for 29 minutes and change, so I'm going to stop here. That is the end of the questions that I had compiled. If I missed anything, like I said, please let me know in the comments below. If you have any other questions for me, always feel free to ask, and I'm happy to do more of these videos, and I'm always happy to take your recommendations for future videos, because sometimes I just find it hard to know what to talk about because I used to talk a lot about luxury things, which I really haven't been that inspired by lately, but I do still like to talk about it. So if there's something you'd like to see me talk about or do a video about, let me know in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon in my next one. Have a great day. Bye.